It's been about 11 years since I moved away by now. I wanted to study abroad, so at the age of 19, I left. Since then, I haven't spoken much with my parents. We weren't on bad terms or anything. I suppose that we just naturally stopped communicating all that much. A couple of weeks ago, though, um, my father passed away from a stroke. As mentioned, we weren't close anymore, but I still loved him very dearly. So, of course, I came back to town for the funeral. It was a fine funeral. Nothing fancy. He wouldn't have wanted anything fancy. My mother and I agreed that it would be good for me to stay over the weekend, and so I did. It was the 11th of October when we held the funeral. So when we got back to my parents' home, I jokingly told my mother, "Guess we'll have to stay indoors tomorrow night, huh?" My mother looked confused at me. "What are you talking about?" she said. "Why would we have to stay indoors tomorrow night?" She asked me if I had just said something completely nonsensical. You know, because of the brothers. Tomorrow is the 12th. She looked even more confused. "What do you mean? Who are the brothers?" At first, I thought she was playing some sort of prank on me. I mean, it was a pretty big thing. Every year on the 12th of October, the brothers would arrive in town. They didn't come from anywhere as far as I was aware. They just appeared. I asked my parents once, but they didn't seem to know where the brothers came from. My teachers didn't either. No one knew. It wasn't something that anyone considered strange. It was just accepted that the brothers didn't come from a specific place. The brothers themselves had a very distinct attire. They both wore the exact same thing: a black suit with a white button-up shirt underneath and a standard gray tie. They'd always wear this pitch black, broad-brim fedora as well. Along with the suits and hats, they'd both be carrying a large black briefcase, always in their right hand. Dressed like this, they'd move down the streets of town side by side without ever lifting a foot from the ground. Their faces were identical, but hard to describe. So hard, in fact, that it was a running joke amongst the townfolk to argue about their features. Some proclaimed that they looked old and had saggy faces, while others said they looked like two businessmen in their 20s. Most of us never really got a good look at them, but it was clear, even from a distance, that they looked the exact same. I suppose that, to us, they held a similar role as that of Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy. These sorts of mythological beings that had just always been around. We'd play games, attempting to guess what was in their suitcases or what their names were. They had roamed the streets of the city every October for as long as anyone in town could remember, and there were some pretty old folks in town. It wasn't weird. We never considered it weird. Of course, us kids didn't really know anyone outside of our small town, so we had no idea that the brothers weren't a countrywide phenomenon. One thing that separated the brothers from Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy, however, was the fact that when they came, we were not allowed to step outside our house. It was an actual law in the city. Anyone who were to step outside of their homes between the hours of 6 p.m. on the 12th of October and 3 a.m. on the 13th of October were to receive a fine of $200. No one ever got fined because no one ever went outside during that time. If someone did go outside, there would be no one outside to see them anyways. No one except the brothers. Every year on the first Monday of October, there'd be a 1-hour period at school in which we would all go over the brothers with our history teacher. We'd go over how they would appear, when they would disappear, and how to avoid them if we hadn't made it home by the time they arrived. I remember one year, one of the younger kids raised their hand asking what would happen if you didn't manage to avoid them. The teacher gave some sort of vague response. I can't remember it exactly. I wasn't paying much attention, as I had heard the rules year after year. I remember it being strange, though. Ominous. None of us ever failed to make it home on time. Not even the oldest, more rebellious kids. Even though we didn't know what exactly would happen, we all knew that it wasn't worth it to find out. After all, none of us doubted the existence of the brothers. We had all seen them. They always made their way down every street, slowly moving through the town, never lifting a foot from the ground. I was up all night the day after my father's funeral. I stayed inside, waiting for the brothers to pass by the house, as they had always done. They never came. The following day, I asked around. Old neighbors, friends from school, my old history teacher. I even went to the station to ask the policeman about that law, the one that prohibited a person from leaving their home when the brothers were active. They just laughed it off. I know that this was a thing. I know that it was real. I remember me and my best friend dressing up as the brothers for Halloween in 6th grade, for Pete's sake. I know that they were here. I've seen them dozens of times. Why doesn't anyone remember? I'm going to send this story to all the news agencies that will take it. If there's anyone out there hearing this that remembers the brothers slowly gliding down through the dark streets on the cold autumn evenings of the 12th of October each year, please contact me. I remember them. I remember the brothers. Thank you so much for listening to my narration of this wonderful story. Don't forget to support the author, which I have linked in the description, as well as the original story. And I just want to give a quick shout out to my patrons, Scott, Old Penguin, Ellie Hutmeyer, Mr. Sankofa, Austin My Love, Rinku Star, William Hartley, Cupcake Hips, Alonzo, Icy Narrates, Jesse Hartley, Eric Cifuentes, Lawrence Wallen, and Melissa Perez. I also try to link a different charity or a different cause every month and maybe a little more. So don't forget to check out the description to support the author of the story you just listened to and to maybe help somebody else out, even if it's just $1. As always, if you guys have a prayer request, please let me know in the comments, shoot me a message on Discord. I would love to know how I can be praying for you. Thank you guys so much. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.